Welcome to the NBA's greatest games. Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened.
Knicks' worst nightmare. Michael Jordan is back, and the Knicks have no one to thank but themselves and the close scrutiny of the media. Headlines like these make this more than a game. It's personal. The Knicks squandered a two-game lead, so now the series is not in a 2-all. Their major edge is the home court, but that may be enough. They've won 27 in a row at the Garden. Will tonight be 28? Remember, Michael's back.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1993 NBA playoffs. Tonight, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks.
Yes, the Knicks and the Bulls are the headline attraction on Broadway. Better than 19,000 turning out, another capacity crowd at Madison Square Garden for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final between the New York Knicks and the two-time defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls. We welcome you to the NBA on NBC on prime time. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert, along with the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello. And Michael Jordan certainly had himself a prime time performance in Game 4 on Monday afternoon in Chicago. He turned it from the 3 for 18 in game number 3. Now, from the Knick point of view, Mike, what does Pat Riley do tonight to defend against Michael Jordan?
Mark, 54 points is amazing, but how he got the 54 points may be even more amazing. A look at his shot chart to show the breakdown of where Michael Jordan took his attempts from. 9 shots came from beyond the three-point line, 10 what I would call long-range jumpers, only 3 attempts inside the lane area, and yet he was 18 for 30 from the floor. It gave New York problems in deciding to play him straight up or double team him because he never even put the ball down on the floor most times. He just went up over the top and knocked out jump shots. Tonight what you'll see is the basic New York defense. Extend them, play him straight up, try to challenge every shot, and if he puts it on the floor, then selectively go and double team him.
Now, Patrick Ewing was outstanding in games 1 and 2 here in New York. The numbers were decent from the games in Chicago in games 3 and 4, but he was not a factor. What have the Bulls done to quiet Ewing?
One word sums it up: frustration. Because Chicago has extended its defense, it's taken time off the 24-second clock, and as New York has tried to get into its half-court offense, it's taken so long to get Ewing the basketball, he becomes frustrated at times. Many times, in fact, stepping out away from the basket, turning himself into a face-up jump shooter. As far as the Chicago staff is concerned, this is great. No offensive rebounds for Ewing, no personal fouls, and they're big people, and I guess we need to give Bill Cartwright a little credit for doing a pretty good job.
And as you may be able to tell, this crowd is ready for tonight's action. As always, a star-studded crowd at Madison Square Garden. It is the toughest ticket in town. Back with the starting lineups in a moment.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks have won 27 in a row. Michael Jordan and B.J. Armstrong will open in the Chicago backcourt. Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant on the front line. And the center, Bill Cartwright, although he did not do it offensively the other day, did a nice job in keeping Ewing out of position. And the coach of the Bulls, the one-time New York Knick, who is being received in a different manner these days when he walks the streets of Manhattan. Phil Jackson, John Starks, and Doc Rivers in the backcourt. Charles Smith and Charles Oakley up front for the New York Knicks, and Patrick Ewing at center. And of course, the coach of the Knicks is Pat Riley. His club 37-4 here at the Garden during the regular season. And the Chicago Bulls have lost the last 6 games here in New York. F.G. Rush, Mike Mathis, and Hugh Hollins are the officials.
Talking about a very veteran, experienced crew of officials here, ones that will pay strict attention to keeping this game under control from the beginning. Believe me, they understand the mentality of the two teams, how big this game is, and how they're both going to come out to start this game.
And certainly both coaches have made their feelings known as they have postured, depending on where the game has been played. Both Phil Jackson and Pat Riley have complained from time to time, just looking to get the edge. Tonight's game marks the Knicks' first game ever in the month of June. This is the latest the Knicks have ever played in a calendar year, and they do control the opening tip.
Interesting, at home in the Chicago Stadium, the Bulls would have double-teamed that opening tip immediately like they did in the previous 2 games. This time, they go back, play straight up.
Well, they collapse on Ewing, and a foul is called as Jordan collides with Ewing. Michael Jordan was called for 5 fouls in Game 4 in Chicago and picks up the foul very early.
One of his strengths, blocking shots from behind the offensive players' heads. Jordan loves to do it. Offensive players must be aware of him all the time when they lose sight of him, because he's probably sneaking behind him, trying to make something bad happen to that offensive guy. That time he got caught early. 14 seconds into the game, he picks up his first foul.
Patrick Ewing, as we mentioned at the start, from a statistical point of view, did the job, but he certainly has been a different player as opposed to games 1 and 2 here at the Garden. During the series, averaging 24, it's been consistency for Ewing, who had a very quiet 24 points on Monday afternoon in Chicago.
I think what you're referring to is that he just didn't seem to be as active or as involved in all the aspects of the game.
Jordan off the mark on his first attempt, but Pippen rebounds. Jordan dishes it out. Armstrong, yes! P.J. Armstrong hits from the corner, and the Bulls with a 2-1 lead. Charles Smith getting down. Charles Smith, the last 2 games, has not been able to stay on the floor because of early foul difficulty.
You see a little bit of the offensive philosophy there of New York against the Chicago defense. Get it in, get it up quickly, so that we have more time to operate in the half-court area.
They got it up on Pippen. Jordan for 3. Michael Jordan, during the course of this season, has not shot well at Madison Square Garden. In the past, he's had some enormous games. Smith with a nice move. The Knicks 5, the Bulls 2. Minute and a half gone by. Starks guarding Jordan once again, although Jordan expects that he will see a bit of Doc Rivers. Here's Cartwright. So Bill Cartwright, the one-time Knick, able to connect. He was 0 for 4 in 32 minutes on Monday in Chicago.
Bill Cartwright is a guy who has been out there, hasn't gotten big numbers, but has still done a very good job of keeping his body, fighting Patrick Ewing down the low post there. He's really the only guy that can command any respect at all from Patrick Ewing. The other people, the Purdue's, the Stacey Kings, he just kind of overpowers them.
Charles Smith can be an adventure handling the ball, particularly against the press. Very fortunate to get it down. Oakley pulling up, avoiding the travel, and he's given the Knicks a 7-4 lead.
Next adjustment you see by New York. They have Starks behind the front line of Chicago's defense, so he's an attack man and can go right at the basket with numbers 3 against 2.
Horace Grant telling us earlier that the sprained ankle feeling better and better. He had an excellent game in Game 4 Monday. Oakley goes all the way, and he was pushed. unusual to see Oakley on the move with the ball. The foul committed by Grant is first, and Oakley will go to the line.
After Chicago had scored, New York was bringing the ball up the floor. Charles Oakley had to take it out of bounds. That was supposed to be Charles Smith's responsibility. He's supposed to pass it in and then drag behind so he can get a return pass. Oakley had to take it out. He had a few words to Charles Smith as he came up the floor, reminding him, get the ball out of bounds. That's supposed to be your job. Everybody has to get in their right places to attack the pressure defense. And in fact, last game, we saw a little incident between Pat Riley and Anthony Mason where they weren't in the right spots or attacking it the right way, and that's all Riley was reminding him of, was what he wanted him to do against the press.
Knicks 8 and the Bulls 6. We're just underway in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. The series tied at 2. Game 6 in Chicago Friday night. Scottie Pippen took a good shot. The basket counts and the foul. So Pippen will go to the line. Foul committed by Smith.
A little adjustment. They make Michael Jordan, the Bulls, the flash man. He catches the pass flashing high, and Pippen winds up running the back door. Not too often that you see Jordan and Pippen on the same side running the flash post backdoor series, but another little adjustment that takes place on the day off between games.
Scottie Pippen hit that enormous shot in the final minutes on Monday. Ended up as a three-point play. Again, the Knicks beat the press. Charles Oakley showing another move out of the repertoire.
And you can see Charles Smith take it out of bounds, get to his spot. That allowed Ewing and Oakley and Starks to get down the floor, and New York could get into its attack mode.
And an official timeout.
He turns to go up the floor. They meet heads, similar to the headbutting incident with the Indiana team between the Starks and Reggie Miller. One was on purpose, this was not.
Charles Oakley has scored the Knicks' last 5 points. The Knicks lead 10-9. And Mike Mathis with the call against New York. A holding foul. It's on Patrick Ewing. That is his first.
I'm sure Pat Riley will have no complaint about that call, providing it's the same way at the other end of the floor when Ewing is posting up and Cartwright has a body all over him.
And another call away from the ball. Doc Rivers on, please. It's a hold on Rivers. That is his first, and the Knicks have picked up team foul number 4. And you can see that Michael Jordan is intent on distributing the ball.
A little three-man weave, something they worked on about 4 or 5 days ago in practice, just pulling it out now this evening.
Oh, good move by Cartwright, his second field goal. He has only 3 field goals the entire series, but he's hit 2 here in the early going. The Bulls lead by 1. Strong move by Smith, and the Knicks have hit their first 5 shots. They lead 12-11 with 4 minutes gone by. The alley-oop to perfection. Jordan leading Pippen. The Bulls by 1.
Scottie Pippen was getting ready to come off a weak side and screen down. Charles Smith tried to overplay it, change direction, lob pass.
Good hands, Jordan with the deflection, leading with a turnover. Isolate the right side. Jordan gives it up to Pippen. Scottie Pippen has hit 3 out of 3, and Chicago has a 15-12 lead. Up shooting at the start. Bulls 7 for 9. The Knicks 5 for 5. And Ewing, as he makes his move, that won't count. We hear the whistle. Illegal defense called for the first time against Chicago.
A different Michael Jordan coming out here in Game 5. The assist man first on the backdoor cut by Pippen, the lob to the basket, and then on a slice cut from the offside down the lane. Again, Jordan to Pippen for the score. So we have Michael the quarterback out here in the beginning of the game.
Starks. The Knicks with their first miss. Knocked away from Smith, recovered by Ewing. Here's Starks to the hoop. Bulls 15. The Knicks 14. Starks off the steal. 2-on-1. Starks whips by Jordan. The Knicks lead by 1. Defense. Bulls have hit their last 6. Armstrong. Rebound Mason. Starks on the move. For Mason. The Knicks 18. The Bulls 15. And the Knicks are running effectively.
I'm just going to say that I don't know the last time I've seen New York get this many transition scores in such a short period of time.
6 unanswered points by the Knicks. Jordan with the crossover. Jordan, yes. Michael Jordan with his first field goal. He's 1 for 3. The Knicks 18 and the Bulls 17. A blazing start for both clubs. Starks for 3. Yes. The Knicks 20. The Bulls 17.
I had a feeling that the dunk just might energize John Starks to get him on a roll. It seems to happen so far.
Jordan changed his mind. Armstrong passed down the 3. Oh, nice recovery by Pippen. Scottie Pippen is at 4 out of 4. He has 9 points. The Knicks 20 and the Bulls 19, the highest scoring first quarter. 5:20 remaining. Ewing passing out off the double team. Anthony Mason breaking for the hoop and taking that pass from Patrick Ewing.
You have an unselfish big man. He likes when the team sends cutters down the lane. It makes it easier for him to operate. All he's got to do is give it up a couple times, keeps his teammates happy, and then will open it up for himself.
Grant posting. Grant with the turnaround. Yes. The Knicks 22 and the Bulls 21. The Knicks have hit 10 of their last 11. They've hit 5 in a row. Here comes Charles Oakley returning. From the dressing room after drawing blood earlier. Charles was hot when he departed. Pippen with the hesitation dribble. Lost it. Recovered by Grant. And Horace Grant lays it home. So the Bulls with a 23-22 lead.
Everybody has had a little piece of the action. The only player not to score that's on the floor right now is Doc Rivers. The other 9 players have all got a score so far.
Ewing put it on the floor, and it cost Armstrong with the breakaway. The Bulls 25, the Knicks 22, with 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter, and a timeout taken by the Knicks.
Transition scores for New York so important against the Chicago defense. John Starks takes it to the basket, elevates up, and then the finish again with little emphasis.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. Hannah Storm courtside with a report on the injury to the Knicks' Charles Oakley. Charles has a 1.5 to 2 inch cut over his left forehead. He was treated by Dr. Norman Scott. It did not require stitches. The cut is being held together with adhesive strips, and Charles has just come back into the ballgame. Now let's go over to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Hannah, if you've ever wondered if there's any strategy in what basket a team decides to take, well, Phil Jackson told me that normally they like to defend the basket in front of the bench in the second half unless they want to jumpstart their offense. And if they want to do that, they'll have the basket in front of their team. The only thing is the Bulls have jump-started their offense, but so have the Knicks. Marv?
All right, Ahmad, do you buy that philosophy, Czar?
All coaches will do it a little bit differently, but the visiting team has choice of which basket. A lot of times, the visiting coach will let the home team go out on the floor, see which basket they want, then send his team out and tell them to take that basket, so they got to walk down the other end to warm up. I used to like to have the defense in front of me at the end of the game.
Sizzling start by both teams. Ewing to the fadeaway, and the rebound is handled by Pippen. The Bulls 25, the Knicks 22, with 3:45 to go in this first quarter. Michael Jordan is now 1 for 4. Mike, in contrast to what we saw in games 3 and 4 in Chicago. Starks diving for it and took a timeout. Good play by John Starks using the 20. it has been a tremendous start by both clubs. Game one starts with 25 here at the Garden. Knicks 198-90. Charles Oakley had the big one in game two, 14 points, 16 rebounds, leading to that Knick win. But things did turn around in Chicago. The trapping press of the Bulls so effective in game three. Jordan only 3 for 18, but had 11 assists. And then it was Michael with 54 points on Monday afternoon. Most points ever scored in the playoffs against a Knick team. 54 points on 18 for 30 from the field. Rivers, who has been quiet the last two games. Now the Bulls looked like they were going to run, and well, a violation called on Michael Jordan. It's so rare to see that. A palm called by the outside official, Hugh Hollins.
That's a tough one to call. Coming in transition, Michael tries to change over right to left. The dribble gets up high. He actually lost control of it and turned it over as he tried to cross. The loss of control is what eventually caused the violation.
No argument for Michael Jordan. Knicks with the ball. They're down by 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Rivers with a beautiful pass. Good look to find Mason.
That score came with 4 seconds remaining on the 24-second clock. It's the first time that the Bulls defense extended the New York offense, made them work to get a good shot.
Chicago with a 1-point lead. Cartwright has come out shooting. Rebound Starks. Oakley played on a switch momentarily by Jordan. Now Grant gets back. Oakley. Pippen picked up on a switch by Starks. Oakley guarding Jordan. And the foul is called. A moment ago, Mike, you mentioned the fiery incident involving Pat Riley and Anthony Mason that took place Monday afternoon in Chicago. Explosive moments reacting to this play. Explosive moments on the Knicks sideline with Pat Riley apparently upset with Mason. Earlier, we asked Pat about it.
What happened had nothing to do with Mace personally. It was a very emotional time in the game, and I was trying to clarify a point with some intensity because I had tried to clarify it for 16 minutes to everybody. And that is to hit ahead and to hit ahead and to hit ahead. If we don't pass ahead on their press, then we're not giving ourselves an opportunity to attack. There just happened to be a man ahead, wide open for a layup. I grabbed his number to show Mace what it was, number 54. It was Charles Smith, so he could see his number, and that was the extent of it. But there was nothing to it.
And we've seen what Pat Riley's talking about, hit ahead in the first quarter when New York pitched over the top of the Chicago press. Oakley wound up finishing off with a dunk. Rather than dribble it up, Riley wanted him to pass it ahead. They got the message, obviously, here in the first quarter.
A strong start for Anthony Mason, who just hauled down that rebound. He's hit 3 out of 3 for 6 points. Oakley from Ewing. He blew the layup. Good dish off again by Ewing on the double team. Here's Pippen going all the way. And the Bulls lead 27-24. Well, Phil Jackson felt that Starks had stepped out. 1:35 remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks have missed 5 of the last 6 shots. They opened up hitting 10 of 11, and a foul is called. Ewing took the shot. Foul committed by Cartwright. It is a non-shooting foul. Mason will inbound. Starks at the guards. Oakley, Mason, Ewing up front. Here's Ewing. That's his first field goal. Knicks trail 27-26.
Patrick Ewing is doing a very good job of delivering a little subtle blow to Cartwright's body, get him off just as he receives the basketball.
Michael Jordan with his second field goal. He's 2 out of 5 for 4. Bulls by 3 with just under 1 minute to go in this opening quarter. Good position by Oakley. Oakley able to retrieve it. putback, and a foul is called. Charles digging hard, but he's missed several close-in opportunities. Horace Grant picked up his second.
Let's go back to a moment ago when the Knicks concentrating on getting the ball down inside to their star, Patrick Ewing. He has to work hard to catch it on the block, but that time put it in rhythm, was able to turn baseline. When he gets that rhythm down and turns that way, he has a beautiful stroke and produces baskets most times.
Blackman has just checked in. Oakley now 1 out of 3 from the line. Blackman played only a couple of minutes on Monday. And here comes Trent Tucker along with Scott Williams. B.J. Armstrong and Horace Grant will sit down.
We've noticed that Charles Oakley has missed 2 layups inside already. You might be sitting there saying, how can you miss those layups that way? He's not a guy that elevates and gets high up off the ground. He doesn't necessarily play above the rim. He plays with a strong body, keeps people off the glass by boxing them out. And many times, because he doesn't jump as well, he's concerned about shots getting blocked or distorted by bigger people that get up higher.
Michael Jordan not able to hit. John Starks with the rebound. And Pat Riley wants to use the clock. There is a 4-second differential between the game clock and the 24. The Knicks have missed 8 of the last 10 shots following the good start. Well, Starks saw the opening. He is fouled. Scott Williams, who just came on, committed the personal.
The idea behind the New York defense, play him straight up unless he gets to an area of the floor where you feel you're threatened. That time, in the middle of the floor, Blackman didn't feel threatened, so everybody stayed at home. Jordan winds up missing. To try and wind down at the end of the quarter, Starks came off a high pick and roll, got in the lane. No easy scores in playoff basketball. So when you go up to the rim, big men usually try and send either you or the ball back down.
Phil Jackson in the offensive-defensive shuffle. Pulling out Cartwright and Williams. John Paxson comes on for the first time. B.J. Armstrong returns. Greg Anthony checks in for the Knicks, along with Charles Smith. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. The Bulls have a 1-point lead. Starks gets in to the second free throw. Just under 80% from the line for the season. John Starks off to the good start. He's hit 3 out of 5, 7 points in all.
5 3-point shooters on the floor now for Chicago. So if somebody penetrates and kicks out, you got people with range on the floor.
Final seconds of the quarter. Jordan putting the move on Anthony, and he was fouled. With 3.3 seconds to go. His good friend Greg Anthony. Michael has vowed to sometime down the road. He said off the court. Did not appreciate a couple of incidents. One last year, one during this series.
He didn't really mean it. He just doesn't want to sleep one at night. He wants him thinking about it. Maybe keep it one eye open.
And the shuffling continues. Scott Williams is back. Will Perdue comes on for the first time.
Most teams have special plays to go full court with 5, 4, 3 seconds remaining. We'll see what New York has.
Bulls by 3. Pressure by the Bulls. Blackman is called for steps. Rolando Blackman called for the travel. And the ball comes back to Chicago.
New York tried to run a little dummy play that time. They faked as if they wanted the first pass to go to Greg Anthony. Flashed the man back on the opposite side from half court. Used him as the first release pass and then tried to backdoor Anthony down the floor. But as Blackman caught it, he took steps before he put it down.
Pippen will throw in. 1 and 8 seconds to go. Here's Jordan. What a play to get it to Williams, but he could not hit. Well, Scottie Pippen with a terrific opening quarter. He was only 4 for 14 in game 4, though he hit that big shot in the final minutes. Remember the 10 for 12 in game 3? Well, he has started out 5 for 5 from the field, leading the way with 11. The Bulls by 3 after 1. Over the years as a member of the New York Knicks, Phil Jackson was a very popular player here in New York. In fact, he was a member of the '73 Knicks championship squad, but recent years as coach of the Bulls, he has been treated differently. And I talked about that with Phil earlier, and I asked, what's the worst that you have been called here at Madison Square Garden?
I guess the whiner, don't be a crybaby, quit complaining to the referees, sit down, shut up, you know, those kind of things, comments when you get up and, you know, get supportive of the team or come to the team's defense. Those are the things that, and the derogative things that can follow behind that.
And I was at home with your wife. I mean, here, I think.
Thank you.
Little attempt at mirth, Czar.
It's very nice of Phil to clean it up for us as to what the worst things were that he heard. No, there are a few more things that he's heard. He just didn't use them.
As he has been the subject of the back page of several New York tabloids the last week or so. Here's Paxson opening up the second quarter. Mason on the rebound. The Bulls 31, the Knicks 28. The Knicks cooling off after the fast start. They open up 10 of 11 from the field, finished at 2 of 10. Patrick Ewing with his second bucket. He has 5, and the Bulls now lead by 1. Michael Jordan with 5 assists. Look out. See his foul. 5 assists in the first quarter, but only 2 field goals. 2 out of 6 from the field. What's the question coming in? Will it be Michael the shooter or Michael the playmaker coming into tonight? Looks like he is looking to dish it off, at least at the start.
You got to have a very strong will and a very big heart when you go down against the New York Knicks, because between Mason and Smith and Ewing that are out there, once you get close to that colored area, the blue area, the painted area on the floor, their instructions are close it down. You don't let anyone get to the front of the rim. So when you start down there, you would have some toughness about you if you want to try and finish against them.
Well, the only member of the media to be on speaking terms with Michael Jordan the last few days, Ahmad Rashad, apparently had a quasi-chat earlier on the subject of would he be a playmaker or a scorer tonight. Ahmad, do you have some words for us?
Yes, I do, Marv. He said that he hoped he didn't have to score 54 points. The only goal he had in mind was to try to get 10 assists. Marv?
Well, he has 5 assists to this point. The Bulls, without including the Jordan stats, as Ewing is fouled, the basket counts. And Ewing will go to the line. The Bulls are 12 for 17 without Michael Jordan.
I had mentioned earlier that Patrick Ewing has respect for only one guy, Bill Cartwright. Anybody else, he just basically knocks out of his way, throws Purdue down on the floor, steps on him once or twice, still goes up and gets a score. He knows that he can overpower all the backup people behind Bill Cartwright. So for Phil Jackson, Chicago, that's why it's so important to be able to have Cartwright out on the floor 30-plus minutes against the Knicks.
Scott Williams picked up the foul, his second. The Knicks and the Bulls are tied at 33. Here's pressure from Smith on the ball as Tucker moves it across. Tucker, Jordan in a 3-guard setup along with Purdue and King. Blackman is guarding Jordan. Smith with the rebound. So Michael is 2 for 7. Inside, will it count? Mike Mathis says no. The foul before the 3-second violation. So Chicago will get it back.
Patrick Ewing had run out in transition, was way ahead of Will Purdue, so Stacey King wound up picking him up. They battled in the lane while Ewing tried to hold him on his back to get the pass. But as we mentioned earlier, if you don't get it to him at just the right time, then it becomes distorted.
Tied at 33. Shot clock out of 2. 1. And once again, a palm called on Jordan. Second palming violation by Michael Jordan.
Let's give a little credit to Rolando Blackman for doing a good job of keeping Jordan in front of him, and then as he tries to get down to that left baseline, he loses control of the ball, a turnover.
Third turnover for Chicago, all 3 by Jordan. Knicks with 4 turnovers. Scottie Pippen check in. Pippen for Tucker, who just committed that foul. Bulls with their second team foul. Smith, Ewing, and Mason now on that big front line. Anthony and Blackman in the backcourt. Rolando Blackman. Yes. Rolando has had a difficult time getting going in this series.
Because Blackman is a player that you want to run off screens, that means that if Michael Jordan is guarding as he was the last time down, Jordan's the one that's getting hit by those screens, taking just a little bit more out of Michael Jordan each time down.
With the post up, Grant with the rebound on call for a travel. 9.5 remaining. First half, the Knicks with a 2-point lead on Chicago. The Bulls have missed 5 straight, 8 of the last 10. The Knicks in the midst of a 5-0 run. And the Knicks with a 35-34 lead. Mason to the crossover. And he is fouled.
Mason having the ability with his size and strength to put the ball on the floor has been one of the keys for New York to, 1, beat the press by Chicago, 2, that once they get up into the half-court area and the first and second option are taken away, at least he can break your defense down by putting it on the floor. That's why Pat Riley has to have him out there X number of minutes each night.
Horace Grant departing after picking up his third. Scottie Pippen raising his hand to try and draw the foul. Once again, Anthony Mason with the creative haircut. The mace. Apparently an M carved on his left eyebrow. With a 35-33 lead. Paxson and Tucker now in the backcourt. Williams with King and Pippen up front. So Pippen is running the team. Shot clock at 8. Shot clock at 5. Stacey King. Very difficult shot. It was altered by Patrick Ewing.
Excellent half-court defense that time by the New York Knicks. In the end, the floating hook shot by Stacey, challenged by Ewing, no good.
And a foul on King, a push for the Bulls. It is their 4th team foul.
Trying to clean up that post play. If you wrap your hand around the waist of the offensive player and impede his progress, the ability to move away, it's going to be called a foul.
Michael Jordan getting a rest at this point. Ewing is fouled again. Hacked by King. And that also puts the Bulls over the limit. Ewing will go to the line. He was fouled in the act.
Every coach wants you to challenge a jump shot, but they don't want you to foul jump shooters. Challenge the shot, get a hand up on the basketball, but don't foul jump shooters, because good free throw shooters shoot 80 plus from the foul line. Good jump shooters shoot 50% from the floor. So make them a 50% shooter rather than an 80% shooter and trying to earn those 2 points.
And Patrick Ewing has been an erratic free throw shooter this season. Here's Bill Cartwright back. Stacey King will sit down. Ewing 72% from the line. The Knicks are only 5 of 12 at the free throw line. They have not been a good foul shooting team. Same for Chicago. Pippen with the rebound. The Bulls have not hit a field goal the last 4.5 minutes.
And Phil Jackson went with this smaller lineup in both games in Chicago, and it produced baskets for him. It was effective here thus far. They have really struggled offensively.
Anthony able to hustle it down. Anthony getting it down, going all the way. He surprised the Bulls. The Knicks 37. The Bulls 33 with 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Good defense by Blackman. Pippen. Foul by Smith. missed their last 7 shots. 10 of the last 12. Smith hitting his second. Pippen will go to the line. Scottie Pippen is at 5 out of 6. Points in all. Scottie bothered throughout the season by tendonitis in his right ankle. The same injury that plagued him against the Knicks in last year's playoffs. For the season, average 18.6. He's upped it here. And the playoffs, shooting just under 51% and averaging just under 21 per game. Receiving the treatment from the crowd as he misses on both. Anthony pops it down. Smith was hanging. And he's fouled. Foul committed by Pippen. That is his first. In the second quarter, the Knicks are 4 of 4 from the field. They opened hot at the start and then had their problems. Chicago 0 for 5 from the field, and Michael Jordan is getting set to make his return.
There had been a little bit of a stir caused by one of Pat Riley's statements concerning the number of free throw attempts, basically, that his team was getting a chance to shoot, number of fouls called against New York as versus what's called against Chicago. Coming into this the 5th game after the first 4 in this series, the Bulls had taken 17 more free throws, about 4 more a game. Right now, at this point in the game, New York has been to the free throw line. This will be their 15th attempt. Chicago only 7.
The Knicks with 9 consecutive points. They lead by 6. It is their biggest lead of the night. 7:35 remaining. First half. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad, and Hannah Storm from Madison Square Garden in New York. Jordan off the fake, trying to squeeze his way, and he drew the foul.
Every time Michael Jordan gets to the blue, at least 1, sometimes 2 other bodies besides the man that's guarding him are instructed close it down. Blackman's got him. Now watch. 1, 2, 3 other bodies that time come at Michael Jordan, try and turn him into a passer rather than a scorer.
Just called for his second foul. Whistles are going here in the first half as Oakley picks up his first. The Bulls already over the limit. The Knicks with their 4th team foul. It's been a long time between field goals for Chicago. 0 for the last 7. That dates back to the first quarter. They've got 6 minutes without a field goal. They double up on Jordan momentarily. Jordan one-on-one with Blackman. Yes. Michael Jordan is now 3 of 8. He has 10 points.
The one thing Blackman did not want him to do, he kept that arm extended. In fact, he even poked Jordan in the face just before he went up for the shot. He was trying to force him to put it down on the floor. With the foot fakes, the ball fakes, he could not get him to do it.
Anthony. And an offensive foul is called. They wave it off. Foul on Smith. That is his 3rd. Once again, Charles Smith in foul trouble.
In that guard around type of instance where the small man Anthony is trying to turn the corner, Smith steps out, and in the official's opinion, it came late. If it comes that late and the defense doesn't have a chance and react to it and avoid it, then they're going to call the offensive foul.
6:42 remaining. First half. Timeout call. The Knicks lead by 4. But a loose ball foul is called. Cartwright was pushed. Blackman collects his 3rd. Charles Smith sitting down after picking up 3, and he has had all kinds of foul difficulties. 3, 4, 4, 2, The two were early in game 4, and he's out for the half after picking up his third. Bill Cartwright to the line with both clubs now over the foul limit.
In that last timeout, Ahmad overheard Phil Jackson telling the team how happy he really was with the fact that they were this close in the game when they had only scored 4 points here in basically the first 6 minutes after scoring 31 in the first quarter, and felt that if they could just withstand this rush by New York, and they'd get themselves right back in it again. They'd get back into the flow of the offense. So he took a real positive approach in the last time out with him.
Well, here are the Bulls only 2 down with the Knicks shooting 64%, 16 for 25. They've been 4 to 4 in the second quarter. Anthony handling the trap and handling it well. Deflected out, says Ed Rush by Chicago. So the Knicks with 10 on the 24.
New York trying to get the ball to Ewing a little more quickly in the half-court set, knowing the double team's going to come, anticipating he may have to throw it out, but then have time to get it back as Ewing makes an incredible shot off 1 foot, kind of looking across his body that time.
10 points for Ewing. The Knicks lead 41-37. The Knicks have hit on 5 out of 5 from the field here in the second, while the Bulls have struggled only 1 for 7. Cartwright, yes. Cartwright has hit 3 out of 4. He has 8 points. Did not convert a field goal at all on Monday in Chicago.
In the 2 wins in Chicago, games 3 and 4 at halftime, Chicago had 62 and 61 points respectively. At the end of the first quarter here tonight, they had 31, well on their way. But now, as Ewing hits another turnaround, but now with just over 5 minutes remaining, they're at 39. This is the Knicks tempo that they want, their style of play.
We're seeing the Patrick Ewing that we saw in games 1 and 2 in New York. Jordan changed his mind. Cartwright, yes, Bill Cartwright going to the hoop, taking that pass from Jordan. What a recovery by Jordan. Ewing called for the foul, his second.
Say it's tough for right-handed quarterbacks to sprint out left and throw back right. Well, it's tough for 7-footers to dribble left and shoot back to the right as they come across the lane. Ewing down in the low post area, gives a fake one, comes back the other way, and then again, likes turning baseline for that quick look.
Lazar showing his football background.
Amon told me that one time. He mentioned that about quarterbacks sprinting out and that type of thing.
Bill Cartwright, his first 4 games, 1 for 10 from the field, and here in game 5, 4 out of 5. The Knicks by 1 as Mason is able to penetrate, and he was fouled.
Williams is third.
New York's 25 field goals that they had, only 1 came with under 5 seconds, only 2 under 10 seconds. They're in their attack mode. When you have players that can put it on the floor, break down a defense and penetrate, you're going to cause a lot of problems for the other team's defense, and that's what New York has done here in the first half.
Mason with 9 points. The foul on Scott Williams, his third. The Knicks have hit all 7 field goal attempts in the second quarter. They now lead it 46-42. Jordan feeling around for Starks. Jordan. Well, he's off in this first half. Starks puts the move on Armstrong. Was hit on the reach in. That won't count. John Starks will make his way to the free throw line. Looks like he is limping. Foul committed by B.J. Armstrong. John Starks with the strong move, and he came up hobbling.
John Starks at the line.
John Starks, a remarkable story. His path to the NBA, not your usual saga. In many ways, a basketball survivor.
Time out in Chicago.
Jump shot, he's 7 of 8. He has 15, and the Knicks now lead by 1. The Knicks have led by as many as 6 points. They have hit 9 of 10 from the field here in the second quarter. Starks way off. Anthony recovered. Anthony for Mason. Greg Anthony has done an excellent job. Mason has 11. The Knicks lead by 3. And as you said before, Mike, Phil Jackson has to be very happy that his club is within 3. The way the Knicks have been shooting, although they have hurt themselves at the foul line. Half minute to go in the first half. Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report coming up. And it's tipped home. Beautiful tip. Scottie Pippen gets credit, and he brings the Bulls within 1.
The ability to realize and understand where you are at all times. Pippen knew he had no time to come back down and go up again without getting it blocked. So while he's in it, back to the basket, he tips it in.
Anthony turned it over. Final seconds of the quarter.